So the day has come that we are finally going to be adding more power to the RS3, and it's all thanks to this JB4 tuning box. Mate, that difference is crazy.
Dude, that's...
For those of you who are new here, over the last few videos we've been modifying my RS3 looking to add more power. So far we've installed this huge 5-inch titanium JDY air intake, even Turi elbow, and recently installed a full custom downpipe and midpipe. And in today's video we'll be installing Burger Motorsport's JB4. This is essentially a piggyback ECU tune that promises big performance without a full ECU flash. Now let me show you how it works. With this just being a plug and play piggyback tune, the install process should be pretty easy. But let's open up the box and see what's inside. So first of all, we have the Bluetooth Connect kit. Now this will allow us to connect to the JB4 using the app on our phone. Then we also got the cable that runs to the OBD port inside the car. JB4 jet tag, it's actually kind of nice though. Some JB4 stickers, and then lastly, the main control unit and all the wiring harness. And this is the wiring harness that you have to run to all the different sensors around the motor. And that there is pretty much everything, so this install should be pretty straightforward. Now before we install the JB4, I thought it might be a good idea to quickly take the car out and get a 0 to 100 time so that we can compare the times both before and after we install the JB4 tuning module and see if the car gets any quicker. Now ideally I would have liked to have gotten the car on the dyno for this video so that we could get a more accurate idea of how much power the JB4 really does add to the RS3, but unfortunately we couldn't line one up for today. However, I am hoping to get my hands on a fuel sensor kit for the RS3 so we can run an E30 mix and see how much more power with the JB4 and the E30 that we can make out of the RS3. Ever since we did the downpipe, as you just heard, you can definitely hear a bit of turbo noise now through the exhaust. Okay, so we've just pulled up and found a spot where we're going to do this 0 to 100 time, and the way we're going to measure that time is actually with the car itself. So pretty much what you got to do is you got to flick this button here, with this menu open, go down and select acceleration measurement, select 0 to 100. Now with that selected, if we initiate launch control, it'll automatically measure our 0 to 100 time for us. Now something to keep in mind is that our rear tires are actually almost done, so I don't know how much grip we're going to get or if we're going to grip up at all doing the launch control, but as long as we have these same tires on when we do the 0 to 100 time afterwards, it should still give us a good idea of how much quicker we are with the JB4 tune. There you have it, 3.6 is our 0 to 100 time to beat. Just really quickly, if you are enjoying today's video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up down below because the support really does go a long way. And we're back home. 3.6 seconds is the time to beat, and as you saw, we did do 3 runs. On the first run we got 3.6, then we got 3.7, then we let the car cool down, did a third run, and we got 3.6 again. So it looks like that is the benchmark. However, when the tires were fresh on the car, I did do a 0 to 100 time, and I did get a 3.5. And I think I've even also had a 3.4 once before on in perfect conditions. But as the tires are now, we're going to be on the same tires when we run it back after the JB4 is installed. So it should be a pretty fair reading. And now it is time to install the JB4. For help installing the JB4, you can find a full install guide with photos on Burger Motorsport's website. Now I did have to buy this separately, but I do recommend also buying the Bluetooth Connect kit so that you can connect and control the JB4 from the app on your phone. And that is what we are installing first. To do this, you have to open the JB4 box by removing the 4 screws in each corner with the Allen key provided. Now that we've got the box open, we have to remove this black seal so that we can run the cable out of the box out the opposite end to where this other wiring harness comes in. And to connect it, you've just got to plug this in on this side here, like that. And we've got 2 screws and we can put the box back together. Just make sure the plug and both the screws are definitely secure. And that's how easy it is. The Bluetooth Connect kit is now installed. Okay, so I did stop filming because unfortunately we have run into a small issue. And it turns out we actually sent the wrong JB4 module. This one here is designed for the non-OPF models, but being that we're in Australia, this is an OPF model. And the difference is these connections. The OPF models have 4 pins, but as you can see here, this is an American model which only has 3 pin. This sensor, it is a completely different shape entirely, and again 4 pin, and that is the factory sensor, and that's meant to connect up to this here, which is only 3 pin, and like I said, a completely different shape. But we have just gotten off the phone with the company that did send us this JB4, and they were actually really good to deal with and have already sorted out a plan. They're going to send us the correct kit and we're going to send this one back, and they're going to cover all the shipping costs. But what that does mean is unfortunately we won't be able to install it today, but when it does arrive in the next few days, we will get back to installing the JB4. I'm quickly interrupting today's video to let you guys know that we have officially launched Sapero. Now Sapero is going to be our merch store, and to kick it off we're starting out with 3 simple designs. We've got the one I'm wearing right now and the 2 hanging up just beside me. And over the coming weeks we will be adding a few different colorways to the collection, and once we start to ramp up the sales we will be adding things like hats, jet tags and all sorts of other accessories as well. Now the reason I chose the name is because for me it highlights the importance of having big dreams, but further than that, don't be afraid to chase after those dreams, and when you achieve all that you set out for, don't stop there. Keep going, and what it actually means is to surpass or go further, go beyond. Now I'll quickly run you through the first 3 items that we will be launching with. So first up we have this shirt with the big logo on the back of the shirt, and this is what it looks like up close on the front. And then next up we got this shirt, and this one's for anyone like me who only likes plain basic t-shirts, the plain basic logo on the front, nice and small, and then nothing on the back. So yeah, this one is pretty simple. Lastly, we've got this hoodie, we've got the small logo on the front and the big logo on the back. Now in regards to sizing, I normally wear a large, but I like to have my hoodies fitted a little bit loosely, so this here is an extra large, and I've gone with this because the fitment on these is a little bit tighter than a standard fitment, so having it in the extra large, it fits perfectly for how I like it. And for those of you who are wondering, I'm about 180 centimeters tall and I weigh 85 kilos. And this is how it fits. Now the t-shirts are already an oversized fit, so this one here is just a large and it fits perfectly. Normally if I'm getting a regular t-shirt, I will get an extra large, that way it fits a little bit more baggy, but with these shirts, since they are naturally an oversized fit, I only went with a large, and as you can see, fits perfectly. So yeah, in short, I would recommend just going your regular size with your t-shirt, but going 1 size bigger in your hoodie options. Now we all know that these cars are not cheap to build and these videos are not cheap to make. We are monetized now and we've already started generating an income from the views, but it's really not much yet. So thanks to all of you who have subscribed. And for those of you who would like to help support the channel even more, then definitely pick up a t-shirt or a hoodie from the website, or below this video you will see the shirts and you can just hit the links there and it'll take you straight to it. And thank you all so much for the support, but let's get back to today's video. And we are back. I thought it was only going to be a 2-day process to receive the new JB4, but it ended up taking 4 weeks, unfortunately, so quite a bit of time has passed. And I have checked, it is the right one this time, so we're all good. I have got everything roughly lined up where I need it to be, so yeah, everything's good to go. So let's get to it. So before you connect the harness, make sure you either disconnect the battery or leave the keys more than 10 meters away from the car for 5 minutes to let the ECU fully shut down. And now installing the JB4 is actually quite simple. It just piggybacks off 2 of the boost sensors and then a 3rd sensor for the boost control module. Next, you connect the ground wire against the firewall Then lastly, the trickiest part is feeding the OBD wire through the firewall to connect to the OBD port inside the car. Okay, so most of the cables are now connected and we still got to tidy up all the cables and a bit of the mess and make it look neat and tidy, but we'll do that right at the end. But for now, I'll quickly show you what we've done so far. So we've got the JB4 box here, and this is exactly where we're going to sit it. We're going to probably put a bit of double-sided tape underneath it to hold it in place there. And then we've got the boost control module wire, which we'll tidy up later. It's probably going to mount it just here on top of that JB4 box, double-sided tape it there. And then the Bluetooth Connect kit is going to be mounted just on top of our XPF emulator here, pointed towards the driver's seat, just like that. And the reason why we're not mounting that off the metal is because in the instructions it advises us not to leave this in direct contact with any metal, including this here. And then what we've got is this cable here runs underneath the intake, and then it splits and connects to both this boost module down here and this boost module up here. And then what we've done up here, since we've already got the XPF emulator tapped into this boost module here, we've pretty much run the stock cable into the XPF emulator, and then it goes into the JB4 and then back, and then that connects into this boost module here. So we do have a double piggyback going on here, and I'm not sure how that's going to go, but George at Burger Motorsports has advised us in an email saying that it should be fine to double piggyback that. So fingers crossed nothing goes wrong with that. And then the next cable that we've run comes from the boost control module. We've routed it in behind there underneath the intake, and it comes around through here. And this one taps into this plug right here with the orange wire just there. Once again, it's a piggyback setup. So we pulled out the stock wire, plugged it into the JB4, into the brown, and then plugged the JB4 into that plug right there. And then lastly, we have the ground wire just tapped in up here in the top right of the engine bay. We just loosened this 10mm here and tapped it in behind. And that's obviously already connected to the boost control module up here. And now the last thing we have to do is connect the JB4 module to the OBD11. And this part is where it gets a little bit tricky because we have to plug this into the OBD port inside the car. And then we have to feed this wire through the firewall, and then it will get routed up here and then pretty much connect to this plug just here. We'll see how this goes. I'll try and film it the best I can, but it is a bit tight in that area. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Once you locate the OBD port, plug the connector in and start running the wire carefully around the accelerator and brake pedals. To the left of the brake pedal, you can lift this piece here to find this rubber grommet. Remove the grommet, feed the wire through, and then place the grommet back at the end. With the wire fed through, I located it at the back of the motor and then bent this wire to create a hook so I could pull the wire through to where I could reach it and connect it to the JB4. And just like that, the JB4 is all installed and ready to go. And as you can see, I've tidied up my wires now. I've kind of got everything double-sided tape down and zip tied up here. I have mounted the Bluetooth Connect kit with double-sided tape to the emulator so that it's away from the metals, and it is pointed directly towards the front seat just over there, which it says to do in the install guide for better connection. We've got the boost control module here mounted on top here. I do have a double-sided tape, but I also added a zip tie just to make sure that it definitely doesn't come off. And as I mentioned earlier, the JB4 box itself is double-sided tape down to the fuse box. But just like that, all the wiring is nice and neat, all tucked away and hidden. And now I'll put the engine cover back on. And I'm just going to do a quick check and see if the bonnet still closes even with all this in the way here. So yep, all clears. Okay, so now for the next step, we've just had to download the JB4 mobile app, which did cost another 45 Australian dollars, which I didn't know we'd have to pay for again. I thought buying the JB4 would be enough, but anyway, that's all right. Okay, so we just made an account. So it says install JB4 Connect Kit, which we've done, turn ignition and engine on. Okay, so now that the engine's on, we're just gonna go ahead and hit connect. It's all linking, going well so far. It says your device is out of date. This will update your device firmware to the latest version. Okay. By the way, I've never done this before, so this is my first time, and I really don't know exactly what I'm doing. All right, we'll hit connect again. Awesome. Well, that's all connected, just like that. Okay, so from the app, we click into this next page here, and we can select our maps. From what I understand, map 0 disables the JB4 and just has the factory tune. And then I believe map 1, 2, and 3 are the only maps that I can run on 98 fuel without doing an E30 mix. And then you got map 4 and 5, and I believe 6 as well, which are your maps for E30 mixes. map 7 and 8. Pretty certain those are for custom tunes. And I honestly still have to do a bit of research, so correct me in the comments below. But I believe running map 3 with the mods we have, we should get roughly 60 or so horsepower gains. Map 5, if we're on an E30 mix, we could be getting anywhere as much as 100 horsepower gains. So today we're just going to muck around with map 1, 2 and 3. And I'm just waiting on confirmation. I've sent an email to George from Burger Motorsports, and hopefully if he gives us the thumbs up with the mods that we've got, we may be able to do a pull in map 5 without the E30 mix, but I'm not too sure, so I'll wait to find out. And then further in the apps, we can make a log, check our logs, and we can also scan and clear codes from the app as well. But the moment we've all been waiting for, let's get this car out and take it for a drive and see how it works. We got map 1 selected to start. We'll go through map 1, 2 and 3 and see if it really does make much of a noticeable difference to your driving experience. And then later on, we'll also do another 0 to 100 pull and see how much quicker it really is. Okay, I'm only doing some light pulls so far. You can definitely already tell that it's a little bit quicker, even just from a light pull. What? And that's only map 1. Oh, we didn't time our shift very well, but that thing definitely pulls a lot quicker. Right, so it doesn't have much of a power gain down low, but like there's definitely a bit of like a lag from the turbo. But once you hit that 4,000 RPM plus range, that's when you really notice the power difference. It really starts to, normally when you first take off, it pins you back in your seat, but as your revs go up, you kind of stops pinning you back, whereas this is kind of keeping you pinned back all the way through the rev ranges. So that's definitely a noticeable difference. We're going to quickly swap it into map 2. And just like that, we're in map 2, all swapped over. That easy and that quick as well. So let's get back out here. Oh my gosh. I thought it was just going to be like just a slight noticeable difference, but the difference is huge. I kind of just want to put it straight into map 3, but I should probably see how it goes in this map first before we do that. That is crazy. Okay, so I've pulled over again. I just want to go straight into map 3, to be honest with you. Just like that, map 3. That is not bad whatsoever. That is definitely much faster than it is stock. Also, I wasn't planning on bringing it up in this video, but I think I will. You definitely want to keep your eyes peeled for the next few videos, because we may or may not have lined up an ECU unlock and tune with a pretty well-known company. So that's all I'm going to say for now. So you definitely want to keep your eyes out for the next video, because this is fast, but we're going to be even quicker. So yesterday we were mucking around with maps 1 to 3, and today we're going to muck around with map 4 and 5, but to do that we actually have to run an E30 blend. So let's get the car warmed up and get some E85. Okay, while we let the car warm up, I thought I'd quickly go over a few things with you guys. And I know you're all wondering what kind of power gains we will be getting from the JB4. And obviously, without a dyno, we're not really going to know 100% accurately what kind of gains we're getting just yet. But from watching Burger Motorsport's video, when they threw the car up at the dyno stock, they were getting 368 wheel horsepower and 451 wheel torque. And then when they were running map 5 on the E30 blend, with just the intake done, they were running 486 wheel horsepower and 452 wheel torque, which is a crazy gain. You're looking at 118 horsepower gain at the wheels and roughly 100 wheel torque gains. But on top of their mods, the only other mods I've done is the turbo elbow and the downpipe and OPF delete. So maybe in theory we might get a little bit extra gains than that, but until we get the car under dyno in the next coming weeks, we won't know for sure. And like I said before, we will be running map 4 and 5 today, mucking around with the E30 mix. I didn't think that we could do an E30 mix without the Flexit fuel sensor kit, but I sent an email to George from Burger Motorsports and he reckons that as long as we mix it accurately and do it right, we should be right to run an E30 blend without a flex fuel sensor, but of course we will have to be pretty careful with it. Now for fuel ratios, I did just punch it into ChatGPT so we could get a quick answer, and it reckons that based off of my 50 litre tank, to get an E30 blend I'll need 17.7 litres of E85 and then 32.3 litres of 98 petrol, which I've already got 98 petrol in the car and the tank isn't quite empty, but if I put 17.7 litres of E85 and then put the rest 98, then in theory that should be exactly an E30 blend. However, George did say that if I just put 5 gallons, we should be right too. And 5 gallons, when you convert that to litres, which we run off here in Australia, you're looking at 18.9 litres of E85. Now with that being said, let's go find some E85. This thing is ridiculous already. Seriously. One thing I do notice is these gears are a lot more snappy now. So I used to find when you take off in this car, it sits you back in your seat, but as you rip through the gears, the amount that it sits you back just decreases quite significantly. But with the JB4 and even in map 3, when you smack it into second, it's like it sits you back again into your seat, even going into third. So I feel like the power down low isn't a heap of an increase, but once you get over that 4,000 RPM range is when you really notice the difference in power. That's too much fun. Okay, so 30 minutes later on the other side of town, we have finally found some E85. There we have it, E85, $2.17 litre. Okay, so we just finished filling up and I've got the receipt here. We put in 18.36 litres of E85 and the rest is just pump 98. And yeah, we didn't do the exact numbers that we were told, but George did say it doesn't have to be exact. He said just roughly, yeah, roughly 5 gallons. And so we got just under 5 gallons and the rest of the tank has got 98. And now before we get into it, we're just gonna drive around for a couple minutes and let the fuel mixture mix up, and then we'll throw it in map 5 and hopefully we'll be getting a whole lot more power. Let's see how it goes. So we got the app open, just select map 5, and just like that, all swapped over. Oh man, that second gear just throws you back. Damn, that is nice. That is so much more spicy. Mate, that difference is crazy. Even the intake's a lot louder, but that kind of makes sense. So there's more boost running through it and there's more being released. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm talking about, so if you know, then let me know. That's definitely more power than it was before. Heap more. Now before we do any more pulls, I'm quickly popping into a mate's place, Ben. He recently just bought a Audi RS3 and he's just done his downpipes and gotten a tune. So apparently this thing sounds pretty spicy, so we're gonna go quickly check that out.
than before, huh?
Yeah, you can hear those bangs a lot more than you can before. Is crazy.
That's pretty cool. So it's only about 0.1 off the 7.
Yeah, 3.1, that's wild.
I'm happy with that, that's sick.
Yeah, I was going to say that pulled way harder than, like, my car's pulling pretty quick at the moment, but that felt like a lot stronger.
Yeah, that was good.
It's definitely hard to beat a twin turbo V8. You definitely can't go wrong with one of them, and that thing sounds insane. It's definitely a little bit humbling going from the RSQ8 and jumping in the RS3, but the RS3 is still cool. But anyway, we are now on the way to pick up a mate, and we're going to try and catch his reaction to the new power, see if he thinks there's much difference or not, but he definitely should, because we should be sitting somewhere around the 480 wheel horsepower mark. So if he doesn't notice the 120 wheel horsepower gains, then something's wrong.
Oh wow. Damn. Dude, that's
When it hits second and it throws you back again.
yeah, yeah. And you can feel it just kick a little bit out. What the heck? Yeah, there we go. That's crazy, man.
See how much it just sits.
Oh, it literally just every time the gear changes, it just like there's no loss of power. It's just continuous. That's wild. Dude, that just spun. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, I need new tires.
Yeah.
I can't put the power down.
Yeah, what the heck? That's insane. Just a plug and play.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like a different car.
Yeah, literally.
No, it's still about 5. You can tell the difference with forms versus stock.
That launch is insane now.
I don't know how though the shifts feel different when it's just a piggyback tune.
Yeah, it feels like it's been like the transmission's been tuned as well, which is crazy.
I don't know how that ride feels like that, if that's meant to do that or not, but it feels like a lot more aggressive, those shifts.
Yeah, no, it does. And it's like yeah, snappy, no loss of power, it's just freaking going. Okay, it's just me in the car now, and we're going to do a quick 0 to 100 test to see how much time we have shaved off. But to be honest with you, off camera, before we put the 85 in the car, when we were just running map 3 on 98 pump gas, I did do a sneaky 0 to 100 pull to see how much better it was performing just on map 3 on 98, and we did do it in 3.3. And in theory, on map 5 with an E30 blend, we should be able to shave another 0.1 or 0.2 off that again. But after driving it around all day, I can feel the back end is definitely a little bit squirrely. There's not much tread left on those tires, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go much quicker, even though the car definitely feels a whole lot quicker. Just in that 0 to 100 probably won't be a good accurate idea of how much quicker the car really is until we get some fresh tires on. But we'll give it a go now anyway. Okay, so we did shave a little bit of time off. Like I said, the car is struggling with traction a little bit, so I feel like we could shave another 0.1 seconds off again if we had fresh tires, but we won't be getting fresh tires for still another month or so. So this is going to be our best time for now that we can compare it to. And like I said earlier, we do have something coming in the next 2 weeks that might involve an unlock and a tune, and so we should see this time drop again. But anyway, let's see how much time we've shaved off in our 0 to 100 from stock when we were sitting at 3.6 to 3.7 when we did those runs earlier, to now with the JB4 on an E30 blend in map 5. And there you have it, 3.2. Now I'm not too sure how accurate the inbuilt system in the car is, but it should be somewhere close to that. And it still gives us an idea of how much quicker it is with the JB4, because we've shaved 0.4 to 0.5 seconds with the with map 5 on the JB4, which is insane. Just from a plug and play tune, they were able to make that much of a power gain. But the car feels a lot more spicy. It feels a lot more, I don't know, like I said, the high end, like the power after 3,000, 4,000 RPM and the high rev ranges is like heaps more noticeable. And it's definitely got more power down low as well, as you can see, because now we're struggling with traction, which we weren't struggling with that too much before. But overall, you cannot fault it. Just about half a second difference in the 0 to 100, that says it all. So it's been a couple of days now since we last picked up the camera and drove the car with the JB4 TUNE. And that's just because we got really busy with work. But today we will be able to drive the car again. So it is currently 6 AM and we are heading to Brisbane to go pick up our new intercooler. And we are back home. So this first box here is our air intake guide for our JDY intake, but I will show you guys that one in the next video, so I'll get this out of the way. And this here is our new JDY intercooler. See what's inside. All these bits and bobs. Okay, now the CD intercooler, I think we should have opened it from the other side, because if I lift this up, it's just dropping everything below. Just lay it on this. There she is. Very nice, look at that. So like I expected, that's the crash bar. Let's put this out the way and stand this one up. This here is our new JDY intercooler. And that is just a sneak peek into what we will be doing in the next video, so definitely keep your eyes out for that one. Now before we end out today's video, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. When we were filming that last video, we were at 950 subscribers. Shortly after posting it, we very quickly hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I can confirm we are now monetized. We are now generating money from the channel, but so far we've only really generated $200, but it's a good start. It's gonna help fund some of these projects and get more of these videos out quicker. But yeah, we're currently at 1,421 subscribers, and I know that's only baby numbers in the world of YouTube, but I think it's a great starting point. So I just wanted to jump on here and quickly say thank you to you guys for supporting the channel. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, currently 1,421, so we'll see where that leads after these next few videos. So if you haven't subscribed already, then hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up down below, because as you can see, we've got plenty of exciting things coming. We've got the JDY intercooler going on in the next video, and then in the video after that, the ECU will be getting unlocked and tuned. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.